Welcome, everybody. Bitcoin has seen some crazy volatility over the past 24 hours. So I want to take a look at what happened, some current levels to watch out for on different time frames, as well as going into some strategies I use for entries as well as even risk management. To start, I just want to take a look at Bitcoin's daily chart here. And this is something that actually has me a little bit worried about the price of Bitcoin here. Well, I shouldn't even say worried, because as long as there's volatility, as traders, we don't really care which direction it's moving. I know everyone wants to see those big green candles, but there's a few things to be cautious of here. And just bringing up my MDX ALGO indicator here, you guys know one thing that I love to use as confluence when picking out which way I should be scalping. I often like to look at which direction the W's are trending, and although I don't typically trade the daily chart, I'm not much of a swing trader myself, but this is a bit of a warning sign that I just can't ignore. On top of that, even the bottom ones here, we got this little warning. I wouldn't have said this is a sell signal, but it was in fact a little bit of a warning that things may start trending to the downside. So we still ended up setting another higher W here and one more higher W there, but now we changed that. We actually have the bottoms now are trending to the downside with these reversal warnings, as well as the tops now also have this. This is typically one of my favorite signals to play when I'm scalping. I haven't watched it on the larger time frames as much, but this would be basically a great short entry when I'm looking at shorter time frames, because we did have the warning with the bottom ones and then the confirmed just the higher low with these W's here. So, and on top of that, guys, just look at all this resistance up ahead. No matter how you cut it here, Bitcoin has a lot of work to do. The bulls have a lot of work. We have this moving average cloud here. Obviously, we've flipped red recently. We got to the top of that with that reversal warning. So to see us top out, there's just a few things lining up, right? We also printed, well, a few. This one's actually quite a heavy supply zone, meaning just a bit of resistance. People are offloading a lot of crypto up there. Then we got two red boxes there overlapping. So obviously a strong level. And then once again, just another supply zone coming in here, just outlined by the ALGO 3. So these boxes aren't mapped out by me. That's the indicator automatically doing it. And to see all these things kind of lining up here, there's just a lot of resistance. There's just a lot of things going against Bitcoin right now. One thing that I will say is still looking pretty good is that technically this purple line is the higher low. We set this high. We set a higher high. Oh, I'm just getting a little bit of background noise here. If you just want to, do us a favor, just make sure your mic is muted. Not a big deal at all. Otherwise I can mute you. No, perfect. Thank you very much. Like I said, we have this high here. We have a higher high here. This would have been the lowest point between the two. And so that's why I outlined it with this purple line here. That would be as far as this trend goes. We were just setting higher lows, and this would be the current higher low as far as this macro trend goes. So to see us bouncing at that level is good, because as far as, the saying that the trend is your friend until the end. So on a daily time frame, we are still testing that support level, and support is technically support until it's broken. The only thing I don't really like here is how it's, for one, looks like, and I know a lot of people have mentioned this at this point, that this could be a head and shoulders pattern playing out, which typically you'd look at a measured move, and I mean, that takes us. I'm not saying I think this is probable, but it's definitely a possibility. And these patterns, if they do break, they really love to get those measured moves. Like I said, doesn't have to happen, but let's just look for a little bit of confluence there as well. If we take this entire macro swing from bottom to top, that lines up perfectly with my 886 Fibonacci. It can't get any closer than that. And those of you familiar with just being in my streams, you know that pretty much every stream I talk about this pocket. The 786 to 886, it doesn't matter what time frame I'm looking at. That's my favorite Fibonacci pocket. I know the 618 is very well respected quite often as well, but I find in crypto anyways, I would say this market cycle, I've noticed it a lot, that the 786 and 886 just typically tend to be those pullback zones. And that goes for support as well as resistance. Let's just take a look at this the opposite way here and just say we are going to find some support here, and we end up getting a nice bounce and the moon boys come back out. Something to be cautious of is if we pull a Fibonacci that, this may be a warning that the trend is shifting to the downside. That doesn't mean we can't get some upside from here. But just what I'm going to say is an important level in the market will be if I take a Fibonacci pull from top to bottom, because I'm looking for a rejection rather than a bounce, actually right between those two supply zones here by the ALGO 3. So, I mean, this whole range is basically a ton of resistance for Bitcoin. So if we do get a bounce, I really wouldn't be too surprised to see us reach that Fibonacci pocket. But we're going to have to see what happens. I just personally think that things look quite bearish right now. It looks like we're basically just tapping away at the floor of this pattern here and just kind of ready to smash through. Obviously, we'll have to see what happens. Let's just look for a couple different trend lines here. Actually, there's another bit of confluence on the resistance side, you guys. Just look how perfectly that is when we look at connecting our wicks here. Look how perfectly that reversal warning lined up with that. There's just so much confluence going on the side of the bears right now, that this trend may just continue to the downside. We might just be coiling up here and just basically, like I said, I mean, you take a hammer to a concrete wall or a cinder block wall, you might not get through the first swing, but you keep tapping away and that just eventually crumbles, right? So something to watch for right there. But yeah, we're gonna zoom in a little further here, really zoom into what happened here this morning. I guess this morning my time, because I missed this entire move, you guys. This entire pump was basically while I was sleeping. I woke up and we were somewhere up in here, and I was thinking, holy shit, like what happened last night? Well, shortly after I went to bed, we got the bullish cross on the 1 hour. This is the 1 hour EMA trend. For those of you unfamiliar, this is one of my favorite tools here. One of my favorite things with the MDX ALGO is the trend 1 and trend 2. Specifically the 1 hour EMA. So even though I'm looking on degen timeframes like the 1 minute, the 3 minute, the 5 minute, things like that, I still have a general idea of what a longer time frame like the 1 hour in this case is doing. So I saw that I see now that we obviously had this strong support below. And yeah, basically we came back, we got that bullish cross, came back, tested very close, just got this double reversal warning, although they weren't trending to the upside. Just seeing that support very close to that 1 hour trend is something that I love to see, and I really wish I would have been awake for that. But whatever, I never did catch the pump. I did catch this dump though, on the other hand, so that's good. Basically, I was just looking at as soon as we started closing these candle bodies below this little bit of support back here. And this is, again, very zoomed in, but just this whole trend, we basically just we weren't breaking the uptrend, right? I can turn this off. We have, for example, we set a higher high. Here's our higher low. We end up setting, again, higher high. This would be our higher low. Higher high. This would be our higher low. Higher high. Higher low. You get the picture. We just kept trending to the upside, and those higher lows were never breaking. So then, we got this one here, set this higher low, and we did actually break it. So that's where, I wasn't too worried when we pulled to the upside here, because I saw that, there is all this resistance up here, and it's totally natural to pull back a little bit. But I saw this break in structure, and that way I could have my stop loss just above this structure back here, basically. A little bit of wiggle room, and yeah, just dumped. To be honest, I wasn't expecting it to completely BART right back down, but I'm also not all too surprised, because Bitcoin loves to do that lately. Well, just it always has. I mean, when volume isn't when there isn't all that great of volume or liquidity, I mean, it doesn't take much for the market to get excited like this. And as soon as that volume and buy pressure runs out, then the market makers can very easily dump through that liquidity and start triggering a bunch of stop losses, and that's where we get this BART pattern right back down. So I have been taking profits. I only have like a quarter of my position still on the table. And yeah, you can see that we're still just struggling to gain any ground here. Let's see what the indicators are saying. Right before I started this stream, I mentioned that I did take a little bit of a long position as basically a hedge, because we had, a bunch of W's trending to the upside. I actually noticed it a little bit late. This back here would have been the first high or low, I suppose. But either way, that's kind of more where I was interested in taking profits. But I saw that we might be just forming higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. I thought that maybe there's a chance that we blast through this 1 hour trend. So I wanted to open up a bit of a hedge just in case I end up losing that short position. And I actually have my stop just slightly below this. I mentioned it in the Bitcoin channel, so you can go check it out. My stop is basically at 26,267.9 or something like that. So I might get stopped out right away, but that's okay, because that just means that my short's doing even better. Because as I mentioned as well, the hedge long is a smaller position. And if we end up pumping past 26,422.2, then I'm going to close the rest of my short as well and consider that a great trade, because it's from, way back up here earlier this morning. So yeah, we're going to have to see what happens here. So far, actually, we've already seen that we got this little bit of a warning that this W, actually this is a perfect double top with these W's. So to see that right below the 1 hour trend, that might be a sell signal there. But we still have the 5 hour trend here as support. We still have the W's in general trying to trend up to the upside here. So I'm willing to just see what happens with that hedge. But in the grand scheme of things, I kind of hope that we just keep dumping. I really think that we have, on the daily, it just looks like such perfect resistance here. And if we bounce here, and I know everyone wants to be bullish, we want to see some upside, but when you consider the size of the move to the downside right now, the possibility that this sends us down towards that 17,000, really, even to cut it short, obviously we have this demand zone down here. So there's obviously a lot of support on the way down, but I just feel like there's so much resistance up ahead that I just think there's potential for a juicier move to the downside. That, and quite often, you guys probably know the saying that, bulls climb the stairs, bears jump out the window or take the elevator, whatever you want to say. So if we end up losing that support, because I do think this is a strong level of support here, if we end up losing that, it could get very volatile for a while. And as traders, we love that volatility, whether it's to the downside or the upside. It'll just provide bigger ranges, even for the day trade scalps and things like that. It'll just be more volatile in general if we basically break out of an important level in the market. So either way, I think exciting times are waiting for us. I think now that we've got these three, I'm going to consider this one, even though it kind of touched 2 or 3 times there, just one cluster, and again testing this line. I think now if we break this level, come back and retest it as support, that could also provide some nice fuel for a decent upside move. Like I said, we do have some more resistance up ahead, but at least it would be breaking a trend line that I'm going to consider valid, because you guys know I often talk about the fact that I like at least 3 touch points on a trend line, and I like them very exact, and that's what we have here. So I'm considering that a strong trend line, and if we do break that, I do see potential for a nice upside move as well. So no matter which way we go here, we're obviously coiling up for a fairly big move, and I'm just excited to see it happen at this point. I don't care which way we go. Does anyone else have a strong opinion which way you think we're going right now? Anyone in any positions at all right now? How's everyone feeling on the market? I think it was the 5 minute where I noticed, yeah, this was, oh man, just a beautiful buy signal on the 5 minute, you guys. Just looking at how the top W's were trading here after we reclaimed this 5 minute trend support. That'd be this quicker moving green line. Reclaimed that 5 minute trend support. Then we got W's trending to the upside. And we got this W trend into the upside after getting the 1 hour bullish cross there. That is just absolutely beautiful. That would have been such a good buy entry. But like I said, I was sleeping and I missed that entire move. But that's just one of the reasons why I like this strategy so much is, man, it can really show you which way the market is going to trend. Even if, let's say, I was actually bearish. I was in a bit of a short position last night. And I closed half of it and the rest of it got stopped out in a very small loss. All in all, I came out with a small win. But that's basically because we were coming up to the 1 hour trend here. And it was looking like, we may continue the trend to the downside. But as soon as we got that invalidation in my sleep, unfortunately, just absolutely blew up. So it can be a very powerful signal. Even right here, so we still have I'm going to call these the bullish W's because they're on the bottom, still trending to the downside technically, so that's a bit of a warning. Don't really have downward sloping W's on the top yet, but I like being a degen and hopping on the 1 minute, so let's see what things are looking at like here. Basically a double bottom with these here and a double top with these here. So yeah, getting a bit of conflicted messages on the degen timeframes right now. Like I mentioned earlier, we are coming up to that 1 hour EMA trend, and we've actually crossed bearish below the 5 minute trend as well on the 1 minute chart here. But again, conflicting signals because we also have this demand zone here, this green box. Let's see what the other indicators are saying. Oscillator 4 up here, no strong signals right now. On the oscillator 5 down here, we have a nice hidden bullish divergence with this double bottom here, as well as this little green pivot. So there might be a little pump up. We'll see. My hedge long is still in play. Haven't dropped below that 26,268 yet. What else? Guys, just because I kind of went over the bulk of my longer to midterm analysis, I think I'm going to wrap up just half of the stream here just so I can get this starting to upload on my YouTube channel. But I am going to stay here with you guys in the Discord. We're just going to basically keep charts up and stuff. If nobody has any questions, or if you want to wait for that, we can just have our own little session here. You can hop on the mics if you want. We can take a look at some altcoin requests and that sort of thing, but I do want to start uploading this part of the video already. So, but stick around with me here, you guys on the Discord. Anyways, friends, if you are watching this stream a little later on my YouTube channel and appreciated this video and these insights, please do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. If you want access to these beautiful indicators, as well as being part of these live streams and other coaching events put on myself and others in MDX Crypto's VIP Discord, there's a 15% discount referral link down below to join. I will be trading these markets on the MEX Crypto Exchange, where they're currently offering my followers up to $20,000 in trading bonuses. There's no KYC, there's access to insane amounts of leverage that degens like myself love, and plenty of trading pairs. You'll find my referral link down below for that as well. And with that, I'm out. Stay safe, my friends. Peace.